Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Before we begin, real quick reminder, make sure to set your settings in the chat to all panelists and attendees so that we can see what you are typing up in the chat pod. So as everybody is trickling in, let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from. We've got Emily in the chat from the Adobe team. She will be monitoring the chat. And if you have any questions, she will be taking care of that because we will be having a Q&A section at the end. So she's just going to make sure that all of your questions will be in the Q&A section. So we've got Molly from California. Hey, same here from LA. Brian from Burbank, Adele from Arizona, Natalie from Colombia. Ooh, this chat is going so quick. We've got, let's see, Nick from outside Chicago, Illinois, and Mish from Pennsylvania, Sierra from Scottsdale, Sam from Brazil, Andy from Maui, Liga from Houston, Gary from Savannah, Georgia, Jorge from Mexico, Donna from Ireland. Oh, wow, Marek from Poland. That is so cool. International audience over here. Bomi from Houston. Hello. Sharin from Pennsylvania. Again, for everybody who is just now tuning in, please set your chat settings to all panelists and attendees so that we can see what you are typing in the chat pod and let me know where you are tuning in from. This is so exciting. Today's session is so much fun. We're going to be talking all about the new features in Adobe Premiere Pro. So much fun. We've got Stephanie from Baltimore, Lee from Santa Monica, Sydney from Mesa, Trip from Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach sounds like a great place to be right now. It's hot here in LA. Like, I would love to be by the beach. We've been having this heat wave. It's really hot. Kat from Salem. Hello, everyone. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and we can dive in. Lee says this is why Santa Monica. I know, right? Being in Santa Monica is actually perfect right now because it's always breezy there. It's much cooler. Oh, hello. We've also got Sai from Germany and Tom from Northern California. Hello. All right, let me share my screen. All right. So welcome. This is the go-to guide for Instagram video session with me. My name is Shireen. For those of you who do not know me or did not watch the previous episode, just allow me to introduce myself and remind you that this is part 2 of my 3-part series, and you can watch the first event over on the Adobe Video and Motion YouTube channel. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Shireen, and I am an Adobe Creative resident. I am also a Los Angeles-based content creator, photographer, videographer. I do all the things, and I create content around beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and creative things. So this is where you can find me on socials. I'm basically at Queen Shireen across everything. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, all of them. That's where you can find me. And today we're talking about Instagram. So as I'm sure you've all heard repeatedly over the past 2 weeks, Instagram is no longer a photo sharing app, as said by Adam Mosseri, who is the head of Instagram. Now, this doesn't mean that photo is completely not a thing on Instagram. It is. You can still upload photos. It's still part of what Instagram is, but they are shifting their strategy to focusing more on video content, more specifically Reels. There's been a really heavy push on Reels recently. So now is a really great time to think about creating videos and making your photo content into video content, which we will dive into in a bit. And I'll take you through the process of how to figure out how to make your photos into videos. So let's keep it real. Vertical video is being prioritized, and the most common types of video on social media are entertainment and education. Props to you if you can marry both of them and have an entertaining educational video. But these are definitely the 2 types of content that do really well on social. Now, as far as aspect ratio goes, and that just means the size of the video. You want to keep it 9:16. So this is going to be 1080 by 1920 pixels. And this is for Instagram stories, Instagram Reels, TikTok. This aspect ratio is the one that you want to use for all those vertical videos. So let's talk about turning photo concepts into videos. Now, you see I have on the left a few different niches, and then on the right, a few different ideas of how you can take photo content and make it into a video concept. So let's start with quotes and infographics. As we all know, quotes and infographics have a really heavy place on Instagram. You know, like there's just so many of them on there, and they're great. I love them. But have you ever thought about how you can turn those into videos? You can. So what you can do with your quotes is overlay text on video. So you can take some sort of really plain background, whether that's, I don't know, the sky or the ocean, just something that's not super distracting, and overlay text on it. So you can put your quotes here and then just have that as like a 15-second sort of video. And that way, that quote that was originally a photo can now live as a reel. Now, if you make infographics, you can take a similar approach. So typically we'll see infographics in those carousel posts, right? You can swipe through them. There's usually, I don't know, 3 to 5 posts in those. So instead of having those as photos, you can change the aspect ratio and save them as a 9:16 size, and then save each slide as a JPEG, and then take it into Premiere. Then once you're in Premiere, you can save each one and make them around like 3 seconds each. So now you have, let's say you have 5 videos in there and they're all 3 seconds. So that'll be, what is that? I am not good at math off the top of my head. 5, 10, 15. 15 seconds. And right there, you have a great video for Reels. So you can just export all those infographics as one video from Premiere and then upload that as a Reel. Now let's talk about art and photography. So of course, the photo community is huge on Instagram, and there's so many amazing photographers out there. But what if you're like, Shireen, I only do photos. Like I truly cannot think of how to turn this photo into a video. I got you. Show the behind the scenes. While you're out shooting, just honestly grab your phone and just set it up somewhere and take a quick behind the scenes, or even after you're done shooting, just take a real quick behind the scenes. You could even show your gear setup or your settings on your camera, just anything to show what's going on behind the lens. That's always so interesting for people to watch. And I don't know about you, but I love behind the scenes. It's really informational, even if you're not really talking through the process of your behind the scenes and like what's going through your head as you're setting up the shot or anything like that. Your audience can still learn a lot just by seeing how you are shooting. And if you want to take it one step further, don't just show the behind the scenes in the reel, show at the end the final photo. So you can have like 10 to 13 seconds of showing behind the scenes, and then you can show the final image. And if you have multiple images, like if you're somebody who likes to post a carousel of multiple photos, you can include those all at the end and set those to about 1 to 3 seconds each. You can play with the timing, but that's a really great way to turn a photo into a video. See where I'm going? So next, let's talk about fashion. Something you can do is create an outfit of the day type of video. So instead of having just an outfit photo, turn it into a video. You can start with a full body shot of your outfit. Then you can go to close-ups of your shirt, the shoes, the pants. You could even get little detail shots of your jewelry or lipstick or purse or whatever you have going on. And that's a really quick and fun way to now take an outfit photo and turn it into a video. You could even take this one step further and talk through the process of putting together your outfit. So as an example, let's say you're making a video about summer brunch outfits. You could even make it even more specific and have the topic be summer brunch outfits in LA, or putting together a summer brunch outfit in LA. And you can walk through how you're picking out these clothes or why you're picking these out. Like, oh, today we're gonna wear a white puffy sleeve top and pair it with these leather pants because they complement each other really well. You know, something like that. So now let's talk about beauty. you can do one step in your makeup routine. And this is a really great way to simplify the process of doing a makeup video for Instagram Reels, because I don't know about you, but creating makeup videos can take such a long time for me. Like, those things can take hours, especially if you're somebody who's doing really detailed work for makeup. So simplify it. You can do one part of your makeup routine. So let's say you want to focus on brows. You can show filling in your brows and then putting in brow gel and call it a day. And that can be a whole reel right there. And the topic for that could be doing my brows. And you can even get really specific with this too and really break that down into different types of brow videos. So one could be a natural brow, one could be a fluffy brow. You see where I'm going? Like, you can really just create so much content. So let's actually dive into beauty for a sec, and let's think of more ideas of what we can do to turn photos into videos. So another thing that you can do with beauty videos is review products. And for this, you can just choose one product and review it. So just like as an example, because this is right in front of me, let's say you have this lipstick. You can talk about this, show it on camera. This is the lipstick. These are the ingredients. This is how it looks on. I love it, like that sort of thing. You can also do a full-on makeup tutorial if you want. So this is great if you already have a longer form video, let's say on on YouTube, but you want to turn it into an Instagram video. So you can take that YouTube video and just cut up the parts that are the most important and will help to still convey what this look is all about. And then from there, you can use auto reframe in Premiere Pro, which we will be talking about in a bit today, and turn it into an Instagram reel. You can also do commentary, which in my opinion is the quickest and easiest type of video, because you don't even need to go out and get products for this. You can literally just do something as easy as screen recording you browsing Sephora on your phone and going through the newest products and just giving your feedback. So what you can do is just screen record and then go through, let's say, 3 different products that are in the new in Sephora category. Then you can take that video, put it into Premiere, and then voice over yourself talking through what's going through your head as you're looking at these products. And you can talk about if you're interested in trying them, if you don't like them. Polarizing opinions are great to talk about. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. You can also show your behind the scenes, so your lighting and camera setup, because again, that is super fascinating, and I'm sure it will be very helpful for people who are interested in creating beauty content as well. And of course, you can take all of these concepts and apply them to different niches. It doesn't have to be just beauty. I just want to show you how easy it is to take a niche and some photo ideas and turn them into videos. So let me know in the chat if there's any other niche that you're interested in coming up with ideas for. We can walk through them. I'll help you out. But yeah, it's really easy to just come up with all these ideas if you just sit there and make it simple instead of trying to make it all complicated. So let's see. In the chat, Donna is saying food and food delivery. Ooh, I got ideas already. So you could do ASMR videos with food. So like, let's say you're cutting bread. Have your microphone right next to the bread. Like, let's say you're cutting on the table, right? Your microphone can be right here. You could even use your phone for this and just go into the audio recording section. And then as you're cutting with the knife, the bread is of course gonna make some sort of like crunchy sounds. You can also do tomatoes, fruit, whatever. Like, and you can also, let's see, like let's say you're peeling some sort of food. Trying to think, what kind of food do you peel? Oranges? I don't know, sure, let's go with oranges. I'm sure they make some sort of noise, right? I'm trying to think, are they really loud? You got the point though. You can do ASMR, that's one type of video. You can also do little food tutorial videos. So like how to make this dish. And those typically do really well, like the ASMR and the tutorial style videos for food. So definitely try that out. Let's see. Adele says e-commerce, so flooring. Ooh, this one you can show like the back end of e-commerce. It's really cool to see statistics. I mean, you don't have to show everything, but it's cool to show people kind of like the behind the scenes of how you run your store. And then for flooring, you can also show the process of installing floors or the design process before you even go into installation. Just talk us through kind of like HGTV, you know, like when they're talking about, oh, this is the plan for the remodel. We're gonna do this to the cabinets and take them out. I mean, I know you said floors. So let's say you're gonna redo the floors. We're gonna take out the carpet and we're gonna put in wood panels and it's gonna look like this, and you can show the sketch. And then maybe you can do a part 2 where now you're showing the installation process of actually installing those wood floors. Natalie is asking about getting kids outdoors in nature. Let's see. So you can do kind of like a vlog style video where it's a quick clip of them putting on their shoes in the morning, and then now they're going out the door, and now they're outdoors in the park in nature, running around. Like, it doesn't have to be anything super intense. It could be as simple as that, just getting ready to go out the door and then enjoying being out in the park. Disney influencer while not at parks. You can talk about the process of signing up or how to become a Disney influencer. And that could be a whole series on its own. You can talk about, I don't know, personality. What kind of personality makes up the best Disney influencer? Or what kind of equipment do you need to be a Disney influencer? So like camera equipment, what do you use to vlog? Because I'm pretty sure if I went into Disney with my camera, because it's like this very intense looking camera, I'm pretty sure they would just kick me out or be like, hey, you can't have that in there, right? I don't know. I haven't been to Disney in a long time, but it would be cool to learn about what kind of cameras you can film with in Disney and like stuff like that. And then you can also talk about hidden gems in the park. You don't have to be there. You can just talk about them and maybe show like a picture on screen. Let's see. Shirin says, DIY crafts, they're always so long. Yup, same with makeup. It's basically like the same type of video. Like, they take forever, right? So what you can do is you could do kind of like a transformation sort of video. So you can put all of your supplies as like a flat lay. So let's say you have this overhead shot and you're showing, like, as an example, the fabric, the pins and needles, and then I'm trying to think what else goes into DIY. Pencils, rulers, like they'll all pop up and fill the frame. And then you can cut to the finished product. That could be a cool way to just speed everything up and make it more visually interesting for a short form video. You could also take that longer finished video of the DIY craft and just pull out the more important parts. So you don't need to show everything. People will generally be able to fill in the gaps and understand what you are showing them. So you can start with the beginning, I was about to say ingredients, my brain is stuck in food. The materials that you need for the DIY, you can just real quick show them. It could be like a 2-3 second thing. Then you can show you actually doing the DIY part. And that could be like, I'm thinking maybe 5 to 8 seconds. And within that 5 to 8 seconds, have multiple clips. So 2 seconds of one part of doing it, another 2 seconds of more of you doing it. Like, and in each of those cuts, you're incrementally progressing in your DIY process. And then at the end, you can show your final result. Phil says, a new restaurant opened in town. This could also be fun as a vlog format. So showing you, like, the first clip could be you talking to camera being like, hey, so today we're going to XYZ restaurant in this city. And then you can show the next scene, the front of the restaurant, and then going in. You could maybe show their menu for a few seconds, and then the food that you get. And then you can also film a reaction shot of you trying the food or giving your opinion on it at the end. That could be a really fun way to take people along with you trying out a new restaurant. You could also take yourself out of it and just start with the first shot being the outside of the restaurant, and you can add text on screen saying, trying out this new restaurant in this city. And then you can, for the next shot, show the interior and have text on screen talking about the ambiance and the decor, and then maybe another shot of their food. And you can have, again, text on screen saying, oh, this is, for example, American food. And then you can also show just at the end, one dish that you tried, for example, and then be like 10 out of 10, highly recommend. You need to try this, like that sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully that helped. Just start with one idea and see how you can make it even more granular. That's a really great place to start. And just as you're going about your day, you will probably have ideas pop into your head about content ideas. So just jot them down in your notes, and then you can always go back and revisit them and expand on them. I do this all the time. Throughout the day, I get so many ideas, and I know if I don't write it down right then, right there, I will forget it. So highly encourage you to use Notes app on your phone or whatever app you like. I also use Notion sometimes, and I'll just jot things down in there. So keep those ideas fresh and write them down while they pop up. All right, so let's talk about how to get comfortable talking on camera, because it's a bit awkward at first, not gonna lie. And even if you've been doing this for a really long time, it can still be kind of hard to fully feel comfortable talking on camera. So if you're somebody who only creates photo content for Instagram, here are some tips for how to get more comfortable. And even if you've been doing this for a little bit or a long time, these will also help you out as well. So first, make a list of talking points. So again, this could be as easy as just jotting something down within your Notes app. So first you can start with the topic of the video, and then have like a bullet point list or just some sort of list talking about main concepts that you want to hit within this video. So let's go back to that DIY concept. So the topic would be creating a pillow. And then for the list of what you want to talk about, you could put, why is my brain going to ingredients? It's literally stuck in food. Materials, there we go. That could be the first thing that you really want to talk about. Then the next thing that you really want to mention is how to do one specific part, for example. So how to, let's say for this one, you're using tape, like that fabric tape to iron the edge of the pillow together. You'll write that down. You really want to talk about that fabric tape. And then the last thing you want to hit on is the finished pillow. So now when you go into actually filming that video, you will know, okay, these are the 3 things I really need to talk about or show how to do, and you won't get distracted trying to get all these other shots that aren't really necessary. Because what happens when you do that is it's always great in some scenarios to have extra footage, but for this, you really want to be as short and quick as possible with it, because you want to keep people's attention on Instagram Reels. Each clip, for the most part, should be max around 3 seconds. Of course, this depends on the type of video and the type of clip, but as a rough guideline, try to keep them pretty short, because if you don't, you will lose people's attention. The second tip is to pretend you're talking to a friend. This will make it so much easier, and you'll also start talking more naturally instead of being like so stiff and robotic and just not comfortable in front of camera. Because let's be real, talking to a lens is a bit weird. Like, think about it for a sec. We literally just talk to ourselves on a screen. And if you've never done this before, it can be really intimidating and like super awkward. So if you just pretend like you're talking to a friend or you're on FaceTime with somebody, it'll make it a lot easier. And of course, practice, practice, practice. This is not something that you're gonna do one time and be amazing at. Or maybe you will, and you're just like a superstar. But the more you do it, the easier it will get, just like everything else in life. So let's talk about Adobe Stock. I want to go back to when we were talking about the quotes and the infographics. So Adobe Stock is a really great place to search for free video content that you can use to create those sorts of videos. So you can go in and type for something like wood texture or beach or landscape, and you can get even more specific with it. You can be like Los Angeles landscape, and you can take those videos, take them into Premiere, and then use auto reframe to turn them into vertical videos, and then just add your quote on top of it. And you can also use this for other types of videos too, or even if you want photos, like this is a really great place to pull from. Phil says, shouldn't have told you about a new restaurant opening in town. Phil, it is not your fault. I think it's probably because I'm hungry. It's like lunchtime over here. All right, so let's talk about Adobe Sensei. You've probably heard or used Adobe Sensei before without even realizing it. So for example, if you use Photoshop, sky replacement within Photoshop is an Adobe Sensei-based feature. Or in Premiere, the newly announced speech-to-text feature is an Adobe Sensei-based feature. So what is Adobe Sensei? It's basically a magician, but a formal definition is that it uses AI and machine learning to make editing easier. So it takes all these really complicated tasks that used to take us manually hours to do and simplifies them into one button presses where that's really all you need to do, and magically it will do tedious tasks for you. So within Premiere, what we are talking about today, as far as Adobe Sensei goes, is auto reframe, speech to text, and automatic captioning. So auto reframe is automatically and dynamically changing the aspect ratio of videos while keeping important subjects in frame. In other words, you can take a YouTube video and turn it into an Instagram video. And you can also turn it into different aspect ratios. So you can do portrait or square. I'll show you when we get into Premiere. The next one is speech to text. And with this one, you can automatically generate a transcript of your video sequence. So let's say you have an audio track on your video where it's voiceover or dialogue. You can turn that into text. And then from there, you can use automatic captioning, which will automatically add captions and subtitles to your videos. It's so easy. I cannot wait to walk you through this process. Speech to text also supports 13 languages, which include these on screen. So English, Spanish, Japanese, Korean, French, German, Chinese, Hindi, Russian, and Italian. So let's dive into Premiere and I'll show you around. All right, so for those of you who caught the previous live stream, we're just gonna be working off of that same video. So over here, you see that I have this self-care routine video that I made for YouTube. And as I scrub through this, you'll see, of course, the aspect ratio is for YouTube. So let's say we want to take this, cut it down and turn it into a video for Instagram. But first, let's just cut it down. So what I'm gonna do is go up here to my project, and then right here, this is the sequence that we are in. So I am going to right click and press duplicate. And then I'm just gonna press right here. Let's give it a name. I will call it demo, just so I know what we're working out of. And then I'm gonna double click. And now it has opened down here. So let's say that we only want this first part right here, the first 15 seconds or so, right up until the process of ending, or the process of making matcha ends. So what I'm gonna do is press C to bring up the razor tool. And then I'm just gonna go across right here and just split all of my clips. And then now I'm gonna press V to bring up the cursor and just scale this down a bit so we can see all of the clips in here. Now I'm going to click and drag to select all of these clips right until right there, and then press delete just to get rid of them. So now let's expand our timeline again, and you'll see that what we are left with is just this right here, a nice little 15-second or so, 16 seconds actually, video. So as you can see, I have two audio tracks on here. The first one is a voiceover and the second one is music. So let's just click on one of these clips real quick, and I'm gonna go up to, let's see, we're gonna go to audio, and then you'll see on the right, this clip has been set to dialogue. So within Premiere, you can set different audio types, and let's just get rid of this real quick so I can show you. I'm going to clear the audio type, and now you'll see I can turn this into dialogue, music, sound effects, or ambiance. So I'm gonna press dialogue. And now let's go back to the captions workflow. And from here, we can add captions. But first, we'll use speech to text. So the first thing you want to do is transcribe your sequence. So you're going to press this button right here, and then all of these options will pop up. So you'll see right here where it says audio analysis, you have an option to choose either a mix, audio 1, or audio 2. So I know that audio 2 is my music, so we want to stick to audio 1, which is our voiceover track. So I'm going to press audio 1. The language is in English, so I'm just going to keep that as is. But if for whatever reason you are working in a different language, you can select that right here. So now underneath here, we also have some other options. So the first one is to transcribe in point to out point only. So if you have in and out point set, you can pick that, but I want to do the whole thing, so we're just going to stick to audio 1. You can also opt into recognizing when different speakers are talking. So this is really great for if you're doing videos where it's like an interview and you have multiple people talking. You can select that, and it does a really great job of figuring out who's who. And let's see, the last part is the transcription data. So it's just saying that when you use this feature, your audio files will be processed and transcribed automatically in the cloud. The process cannot be canceled once sent for transcription. So now we're just going to press transcribe, and you'll see how quickly it is going to make text for us. So we'll just give it a sec. Lee is asking, what about captioning in multiple languages? So I see Emily has answered, at this time, you cannot transcribe multiple languages at one time. So I hope that helps. We're just gonna give this a sec to transcribe, and there we go. So now you see right here, Premiere has automatically created text out of our audio track. So let's just go through and make sure that everything is correct. Let's see, what is self-care? It's waking up to the morning's first beam of light and enjoying the sun's kiss of warmth. Personally, I cannot start my day without my morning routine. Matcha, we're just gonna switch that to matcha, is a must. And then I'm gonna add a period. I fill my cup before a day of filling everyone else's, and I will turn that into a sentence. So as you can see, it does a pretty good job. Of course, you can go back in and really fine tune the words. But look how quick and easy that was. If you were to do that manually, it would take you so long. And you know what else would take you long? Even longer? Creating captions. So here is how we can create captions on this video. Up here, you're going to press create captions. So I'm gonna press that. And now you'll see that these settings come up. So let's walk through them. The first thing you can select is create from sequence transcript, or you can create a blank track. So we're gonna stick with create from sequence transcript. That's what we just did. We made a transcript. So down here, you have a caption preset. So currently it is set to subtitle default. And for our case, for Instagram, honestly, you don't need to worry about the rest of these because these are for broadcasts and you just don't need to know about them. The next thing we have is subtitle, and same thing, we're just gonna stick to subtitle. And then for style, you'll see that it is currently set to none, but you can create your own presets, and I'll show you how to do that. So next thing we have is maximum length in characters. I typically like to keep mine around 30 to 35. I don't like having too many words on screen at once. So I'm just gonna drag this down. Let's do 30. And then for minimum duration in seconds, 3 is fine. And then gap between frames, 0 is fine. And then for lines, this is personal preference, really. You can do double or single. I typically like to do single. I don't like having 2 layers, especially for Instagram. I feel like 1 layer is typically better. So I'm gonna change this to single, and then we'll press create. And there you go. Do you see how quick and easy that was? Imagine if you were trying to do this just manually, it would take you hours. Like, I'm not kidding, a 15-second video like this would truly take me at least an hour to just manually create captions for. And this just did it in like what, a few seconds? Amazing. So if you look at the sequence down here, you'll see that we have this subtitle track. So as we scrub through it, pay attention to the bottom of the screen for the video, you'll see that the captions are now automatically in there. And just like you can typically on your timeline, you can adjust all of these clips, so you can drag them out to extend them out. I'm just going to press Command Z to get rid of that. You can also pull up the blade tool by pressing C and just make a cut wherever you want. And I'll press Command Z to just get rid of that. So let's quickly just look through all of these and figure out if we want to make any changes to them. So what I'm going to do is just make the screen bigger right here by pressing tilde, and then let's give this a look. Okay, right here, it's waking up to the mornings. I definitely want to combine those. So that's something I'm keeping in mind while I'm editing. Let's just take a look at the rest of this. Okay, everything else looks amazing. So I'm just gonna press tilde and we can go back here. So here are the two clips that we want to combine for the captions. It's waking and up to the mornings. So let's go over here to our text panel and I will select it's waking, press shift and then press up to the mornings. So now you'll see up here, we have this icon. And what this will do is merge your captions so they'll become one line. So I'm gonna go ahead and press that and you'll see just like that, it has become one line. Now we can make some fine-tune adjustments because it has an extra space between waking and up. So I'm just gonna get rid of that and boom, just like that. We have edited our captions. It's so easy. So now let's say you want to customize your captions. We talked about those presets, right? Let me show you how to make that. So over here in track style, you'll see currently it is set to none. So let's change our captions around. I'm just gonna go back over here to the first frame and select what is self-care. It doesn't really matter, you can change it on anyone. So first thing we wanna do is change the font. So the font that I like to use is Montserrat Bold. And then 48 is fine, we'll just leave it that way. And then let's say we want to change the color and all of that. So we'll go down here to appearance. I'm gonna change the fill to black because that's typically what I like to do for my own content. And then for the background, I'm gonna enable this and we will set this to white. And of course, feel free to get really fun and creative with this. You can use any color you want. Well, not any color, make it legible, you know? Like I wouldn't put a neon green for a caption, but you can definitely use your brand colors and really make it on brand for your Instagram. So over here are the opacity controls. So I'm gonna set it to 100 to begin with. And then right here, we have the padding. So I'm gonna change this to 15 and you'll see that it gave us a bit more room around the text. And then over here, you can curve it if you want, which is also a really cool feature. I'm gonna keep it normal. I'm gonna keep it a rectangle. So I'm gonna set that to 0. And then let's uncheck this shadow because we don't need it. This is how I like to have my captions. So let's say I want to save this as a preset. What I'm going to do is go up here to track style and then press create style. Now you'll see here, you can give it a name. So typically how I like to name these is by the text and then the colors. So I'm going to call it Montserrat Bold White BG for background. And then I'll press OK. And now you'll see up here in our track style, it has been saved as a preset. So now you'll see we can go back to none, which was nothing, or we can do the Montserrat Bold White background. But let's say you're working for a client and you're making a video and they're not really sure what color they want to use for their captions. Let's say they have multiple colors for their brand identity and you want to give them some options for the review process. So what you can do is make another preset. So let's say for this one, they want the background to be yellow. Why not? We'll do something like this. And then we could just leave the fill as black. And then let's say they also are curious about what a different font might look like. So let's see, what's a nice font? Let's just do something basic. We'll just do, ooh, you know what? Let's go fun. Let's do Comic Sans because everybody loves that font, right? Oh gosh, I can't. This is, whatever, it's fine. We will stick with it for the purpose of this. Let's say your client really loves Comic Sans. So now what we can do is go up here and press Create Style. And we will call this Comic Sans Yellow BG. And then we will press OK. So now let's say while you're editing, you want to switch back to that previous style that you made. All you have to do is go up here and then select the other one. And there you go. You can easily switch back and forth. And then you can stay on this style, export it, and then select the other style, export that, and then show it to the client. So it's really easy. It makes that whole workflow just so much quicker, which is so appreciated. So the next thing that I want to show you is, let's say that you are actually in the editing workflow, the workspace rather. So let's say you're here and you're going through the edit and you decide, you know what, I really want to change this caption style. Instead of going over to the effects panel and pulling up Essential Graphics and all of that, you can just double click on this caption and it will automatically pull up the text panel for you and Essential Graphics. So now it's as easy as going over here to Essential Graphics, selecting edit, and then making some changes. So that's another way that you can access these customization options. So now let's talk about auto reframe. So let me just go back here to my custom workspace. And let's say that we want to turn this video into an Instagram reel. So the first thing I'm going to do is change it back to Montserrat because I am not a Comic Sans girl. And then let's go over here to our project panel and we will select this sequence right here, the self-care routine YouTube demo. I'm going to right click and then select auto reframe sequence. So now you'll see that we have these settings. So we can change the sequence name and I will do that. I will change this to IG and then I'll leave the rest as is. And then for the target aspect ratio, by default, it will go to vertical 9:16, which is exactly what we want. But if you press the drop down, you will see that you can change it to all these other aspect ratios as well. So if you want to create a square video, a vertical 4:5, which is what you will see for the in-feed video posts on Instagram. You can also do horizontal 16:9, which is what you see on a typical YouTube video, or you can also do custom. So we will keep this set to vertical 9:16. And then for motion tracking, you can do default, slower motion, or faster motion. I'm just gonna keep it to the default. It's perfectly fine. And then you also have an option to nest your clips, but we're just gonna keep it at don't nest clips. And then let's press create. So now you'll see Premiere has automatically not only reframed my video, it has also reframed that text that I had on there, the 2 adjustment layers that I have, and the captions. They have all been automatically reframed for this vertical video, which blows my mind. I literally cannot get over it. It makes editing so easy because I just think about all the times that I have to do this manually and I would go in and manually make the effects bigger for the adjustment layers so that I could fill up the whole video and go and adjust all the captions. No, like Premiere makes it so easy now to just do all of that with a click. So now what you can do is go through and take a look at the whole video and see if you want to make any fine-tune adjustments. So let's do that. I'm going to make this full screen again by pressing tilde, and let's take a look. You see how it's automatically tracking me too? It's so great. Okay, so this clip we definitely want to go and adjust because it wasn't showing the matcha. Nice. Okay, so let's go back to that clip. I'm just going to press tilde to get out of that. And we will scrub through right here. So this clip right here, we want to adjust. What we're going to do is go over to effect controls. And then you'll see within each clip now, this effect of auto reframe has been added. And within there comes all these different parameters so that you can make fine-tune adjustments to your clip. So what you want to focus on here is reframe offset. So what I'm gonna do is, let's bring it down because I actually want to zoom this in a little bit. So I'm gonna adjust the scale and we'll do something maybe like a 121. And then I will bring this over as well. So I'm just gonna keep dragging this to the right and something kind of like there looks good to me. So let's just take a look at this. Nice. Let's say you wanna make a few more fine-tune adjustments. I just wanna bring it over to the right a little bit. So I'm just gonna go back over to reframe offset and just try to center it a bit more. So something kind of like that. Let's take a look. Nice. All right, let's just look. Let's say that I also want to change up this clip. I don't like how it's moving. And let's say that I also want to shorten that clip a little bit maybe. So let's select this clip and then let's bring this over a little bit, like 90. Let's look at that. So let's say that I want to cut this clip. I'm gonna press C to bring up the blade tool, click to make a cut, and then I'm just gonna delete the rest of this. So now let's see what this looks like. Nice, much better. So now what I want to do is extend this clip out a little bit and make this longer. So let's see what this looks like. Nice. So as you can see, it's really quick and easy to make these fine-tune adjustments and get your video done and edited without having to worry about all those tedious tasks in Premiere. So now I want to walk you through the export process. So let's go up here to File, Export Media. And now over here, you'll see you have an option for captions. So since I'm already in there, you can see what these different features in there are. So the first one is export options. Currently it is set to none, but you can create a sidecar file. So this is the SRT file, and this is ideal if you are creating captions for something like a YouTube video. So you can export the sidecar file and then upload it to YouTube. And then that way, when somebody is watching your video on YouTube, the captions will automatically pop up along with the video, and you don't have to sit there on YouTube manually, second by second, rewatching the video, typing it in. I've been there, it's tedious, I don't like doing it. So Premiere has made it really easy to do that. The next thing you can do is burn captions into the video, and that is exactly what we want to be doing in our case. So since this is going to be going on Instagram, burning captions into the video is going to allow you to export with those captions in there. You'll see if I go back to none, those captions will disappear, and we don't want that. So we're going to press burn captions into video. And then from here, you can just export as usual and you'll be good to go. But before you export, I do want to bring one more thing to your attention. So as you know, as you're scrolling through Instagram and you come across the reels on your feed, typically they are cropped, right? You'll first see them as a 4:5 aspect ratio. So the top and bottom of the video will get cropped. And if you have captions there, it's likely whoever is watching your video may not see them unless they're coming across the video on something like a reshare on stories or in the Explore page. But just to make it easier for everybody to see your captions, I have a trick up my sleeve. So what we're gonna do is go back over to Project. And right here, you see that I have this called Safe Zone. So I'm gonna show you how to make that and what that is. So down here, you are going to press New Item, and then you're gonna create a color matte. So for this, we're gonna change the width to 1080 and the height to 1350. And this is that 4:5 aspect ratio for Instagram. And then I'll press OK. And then from here, you can just select any color. Typically, I'll do red because it just stands out and I'm like, danger, safe zone, make sure your text is in here. So we'll call this Safe Zone 2. And I'll just press OK. So now what I'm going to do is drag and drop this over to the timeline. And at first, it may look like this. Don't worry, we're going to fix it. You're going to go over to Effect Controls and just scale it down until it perfectly fits within your frame. So something like 50, 57. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, 57 looks much better. So what you want to do now is select your subtitles. So I'm just going to double click to bring up the effect controls. And then you're just going to bring up the vertical position of the captions. So let's do something like 174, or let's say you want to have the captions up top. You can bring those up. So let's say maybe like something like there, but that might not be ideal because maybe that's where your head is at if you're doing a talking to camera sort of video. So what you can do instead is, let's say maybe start up here and then bring it down. And now you'll know that if it's set within this red safe zone, people can see the caption if they're just scrolling across it on their feed. And if you want to go through the whole video and see what that looks like for all the captions, what you can do is take this safe zone and set the effect controls to an opacity of around 50, or you can go to even lower if you want to, just so you can see the footage underneath and you'll kind of get a general idea of what it looks like. So as you can see, as I'm going from this caption to this one, the effects are not trickling over. So what we're going to do is create another preset. So we're going to call this one Montserrat bold white BG top. I'll press OK. So now you'll see these were all set. So what you can do is go back and make minor adjustments if you want to bring them down or anything like that. So the 164, you can just do that across the board. And it's a really quick and easy way to make those adjustments to your captions. So I would like to open it up to Q&A. If anybody has any questions, drop them in the chat in the Q&A. Let me know. So let me just pull up this Q&A box real quick. All right, so Natalia asked, I own a street art project and behind the scenes are always important, but looks always the same. Any suggestions to improve it? Let's see. The street art project. I'm trying to think, like this is for photography, right? So what you could do is to show different types of behind the scenes, maybe do one just for camera equipment, one just for showing lighting setup. So let's say you have a light set 45 degrees angled downwards this way. You can talk through that decision that you made and like why you're angling the light that way, and then show the final image and see what it looks like and be like, see, like this is why it's important to set up the light in this way. Or something else you could do is just show the materials that you use before you even go to create your street art project. You can show what you use and explain why these are important for you. Or you could also, let's see, I'm trying to think, street art behind the scenes. Maybe just set up a camera of you, like a behind the scenes camera while you're actually doing the street art. That could be a cool way to also have a little behind the scenes. And as another idea, you could talk about your technique. So like your art technique, because we all have different styles, right? You can talk about what makes yours unique. Phil asks, is all this information going to be recorded somewhere I can go back to when I'm practicing on Premiere Pro? Yes, it will be. So keep an eye out. The replay will be posted on the Adobe Video and Motion YouTube channel. Let's see. Adele's asking, how often should we post to story/reels versus regular feed? Okay, so there's the Instagram answer and then there's my answer. Of course, Instagram wants you to be on the app like all day, every day, right? They basically want you to live, breathe, eat, sleep Instagram, but that's not sustainable. So my recommendation would be to do whatever is right for you. So if you can do twice a week, great. If you can do once a week, great. I don't want you to burn out because it can be so easy to get sucked up in wanting to play the algorithm game and wanting to please the algorithm. But at the end of the day, is it really worth it if you're burning out daily or weekly? I don't think so. So just whatever feels right for you. And I would also recommend using polls on your stories, because they have come out and said that they want you to use those more interactive features on your stories, because it signifies to Instagram that people are actually engaged and interested in what you have to say. And so your content will get pushed out to more people, or your stories rather. So try that out. And also follow creators on Instagram, because they're always posting about the latest tips and tricks for growing as a creator on Instagram. Let's see. Samuel asks, is there a roadmap to include more language for automatic captions? I'm not sure. Perhaps Emily will have an answer for that. Let's see. Anthony is asking, can you export the transcriptions so you can have transcripts to work on a paper cut? Yep, the SRT file can be exported. Let's see. Phil is asking, being at your job, how many hours do you end up spending on screen? So pretty much all day. I'm, for the most part, always behind the computer, whether it's for editing, emails, live streaming like this. I spend a lot of hours behind the screen. So I definitely need blue light blocking glasses. Well, I mean, I do have them. I should probably use them more often. I just figured for live streams, I want to prevent the glare from the glasses, and I want you to be able to see my face. So I didn't wear them today. Ooh, okay, Emily says, yes, we are working on it. So yep, keep an eye out for more languages to come. Let's see. If you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A, because that is where I am seeing them right now. Just give it a sec. Well, if there are no more questions, that is it for today's session. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. I really hope that you found this helpful. And again, you can catch the replay on the Adobe Video in Motion YouTube channel. And don't forget, ooh, hold on, we have a final question. Samuel is asking, is it possible to download a file of the subtitles generated in Premiere Pro? Yes, that is the SRT file, and you can download that within Premiere Pro. So yeah, as I was saying, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.